What's up, party people? I just wanted to basically tell you a little story. I thought that that would be potentially helpful to some of you out there. So, a little campfire story, I guess. So, my name is Andrew. I grew up in South Florida, Southeast. I grew up in Southeast Florida. And I grew up in a pretty musical family. So my father played music, his father played music. I got uncles and cousins that played growing up. And I played in and out of groups with my brother as a kid. The main thing that I wanted to address today is this idea of perseverance. I think that with guitar specifically, it's like music is a little bit more like a sport in a lot of ways because it's a physical action that you have to perform. So it's performance based. That's why we call it performance art. The reason that I kind of want to address it today is I think that some people, especially in this forum, in the YouTube forum, will think like, ooh, yeah, I'll get a guitar. I can watch some YouTube videos and I can pick it up, and that's definitely possible. It's within most people's wheelhouse, I think, to be able to do that. Where there's a disconnect, where there's a lacking sometimes, is the perseverance, the need to keep picking it up, even when it feels like it's not working. And so I want to tell you about when I first started playing guitar. So when I was 8, I asked my father for a guitar for my birthday. For my 8th birthday, I wanted a guitar. He played. I saw my grandpa play. I saw my cousin Matt play. I thought, give me one of those things and I'll freaking rip, man. It's like in my blood. All I need is the guitar now. Now I know what I'm meant to do. He said no. He said that I wasn't ready, that I was too young. I wasn't big enough, actually. At that time, it was harder to find half size and 3/4 size guitars. They weren't as common as they are now, which is great. Really about the ergonomics of it. And that's kind of what my dad was saying, that your body just isn't big enough to kind of play it. And I think he thought that I would be disheartened and give it up. Nonetheless, I kept asking. At 9, I asked again. At 10, my parents told me, well, your brother's done some piano lessons. If you can do some piano lessons for a while, a couple of years, then you can kind of prove that maybe you're ready for a guitar. So I took piano from 10 to 12. And on my 12th birthday, my dad finally, my parents finally got me a guitar. And I was over the moon. And I thought, yes, this is finally time. Now I am going to just rip and roar on this thing. Let's do it, Anyway, nonetheless, I remember those first 3 months specifically. My brother was 2 years older than me. He was 14 at the time. I was 12. And he didn't get a guitar, but I did. And I remember in the first 3 months, he was starting to pick up things faster than I was. And it was really crushing me. It was making me feel really sad. And it made me contemplate, it made me wonder if I should just give it up. I thought maybe I'm not meant for this. Maybe it's like meant for my brother. It's not meant for me. And it's funny how that still brings up an emotional response. Nonetheless, I kind of was like, well, I spent the last 4 years, basically, like my 8th birthday, my 9th, my 10th, my 11th. I asked for a guitar every one of those birthdays. So finally, they got me one at 12. I needed to try. I needed to keep playing. And I really think a big part of me playing was the inspiration from my brother. He was getting what I felt better than me faster. And so it kind of gave me a sense of competition and drive to just be better. After 6 months of playing, we kind of formed a band. He had played drums for a little while too in the school band, and he had gotten a drum kit when he was 9, actually. So we would go to our parents' garage, or even we had a shed. At one point, we had the drums in the shed too. And we would just plug in the guitar. I got an electric guitar. That was my first guitar, Yamaha Pacifica. And we would just spend hours in there, probably sounding atrocious. But we would just, play. We would just play, even if it didn't sound good. So we formed a band with 2 of our friends after about 6 months of us playing, where my brother played drums, I played guitar. We had our buddy Dustin play bass and our buddy Mike sing. And we definitely did not write the best songs. I actually, the first band that I was ever in, when we were trying to name the band, what we did is we went through the dictionary and we tried to find, a cool word. And I remember my dad actually saying aardvark. He always wanted us to be called aardvark. He liked the 2 A's at the beginning. And my name's Andrew, and my brother's name is Adam. So I think he kind of liked that too. Nonetheless, we got as far as C. When we got to C, we named ourselves what we called Canigulus. So we called ourselves Canigulus probably for quite a while. I think it was like a couple of months. And I remember our dad asking us, hey, what's the name of your band? Or have you come up with a band name yet? And we'd be like, no, even though we had. And then eventually, my brother's looking at me, I'm looking at him. It's like, are we going to tell him? And so finally, I think I was the one that told him. I think my brother was too nervous to say it. And I said, yeah, we came up with the band name. It's Canigulus. And he was like, Canigulus. And then we were like, yeah, you probably don't know what it means. And then he was like, oh no, I know what it means. And you're pronouncing it wrong. It's pronounced cunnilingus. So yeah, that was the first band that I was ever in. We were called Cunnilingus, and we said it wrong. We called it Canigulus. We thought we were the coolest kids in the world. But that band and that journey of being in a band and forced to practice, forced to try to write songs, forced to try to learn songs, even when we weren't good at it. Even if we tried to learn a song and realized it's too technically proficient for us, we would try to find another song that made sense, one that we could learn. And we kept doing that. And I really do think that the perseverance to keep moving forward. Something that I tell my guitar students is, to leave their guitar out. Don't put it in a case when you go home. Make sure that it can be on a stand or somewhere out where you can see it and have that reminder of picking it up. If you're playing and you get fatigued, I'll definitely try to do these like different exercises where after a while my hand or my fingers hopefully are getting sore. That's what I like, actually. That's kind of just getting them warmed up, actually, nowadays. But the idea is that you just kind of keep picking it up, even if you put it down. Sometimes it's good to take some breaks, but the most important part is picking it back up. Just keep persevering. Just keep trying. Another big part of my ability, I think, to play was to be able to bounce ideas off of my brother and my dad. Where I would, if I had an issue with something, or maybe they could play something I couldn't play, or even vice versa, teaching something to my dad, teaching something to my brother, always helped me learn. And then I also got the opportunity to learn from them. You know, they would teach me riffs or little licks or, you know, cool little songs that they liked. So that's my big spiel about today is to persevere, to just keep working on it, keep trying one little bit at a time, one little bit at a time. We can only do one thing at a time. And one thing that I really like to say, and this is just with life in general, so it is applicable to the guitar as well, is you just want to get a little bit better each day. You don't have to get a lot of bit better, just a little bit every day. That's what makes the trek. That's what makes the journey. Having these big, 13-mile spans and then nothing for a while, then 13, you end up kind of just re-walking, reliving those same 13 miles as opposed to just keep on working on it just a little bit every day if you can. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, kind of whatever your, wherever you are in your musical journey. So yeah, that's my story and that's my spiel.